Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about protein. Pretty much everyone in the US nowadays is going crazy about protein and worrying if they're getting enough and making sure they eat their meat to get enough protein and be strong. However, I'm here today to tell you that you shouldn't eat meat to get your protein, and you actually don't even need to eat that much protein in the first place. The whole protein craze is just a craze, and studies have proven this. There are other nutrients that you should be trying to eat more of instead of protein. A study with around 60,000 participants compared nutrient profiles of people with different diets, which included 30,000 non-vegetarians who eat everything including meat, 20,000 vegetarians who only eat plant foods and dairy, and 10,000 vegans who only eat plant foods. They compared the average protein intake of the different groups of people, and it had a surprising result. The average recommended protein intake per day is 42 grams per day, and what they found in this study is that every group with different diets was way above this recommended amount. And also, all the groups got roughly the same amount of protein every day. The meat eaters and plant eaters had very similar average protein intake, which was well above the required amount. It's weird that everyone in the US is super worried about getting enough protein, since the majority of people get way more than enough, as was seen in this study. Plus, another study found that only 3% of adults are protein deficient. Protein deficiency, which means that you don't get enough protein, is not common at all, and even in those 3% who are protein deficient, there are people who have eating disorders. These include diseases like anorexia and bulimia. These are people who have abnormal psychological views of themselves and who pretty much don't eat at all. So if you're not sick and are eating normally, you're definitely getting enough protein. The real question that people in the US should be worried about is, where do you get your fiber? Because unlike protein, Americans are seriously lacking in fiber, which is a very essential nutrient. It has been found to lower the risk of diabetes, heart disease, obesity, and various cancers, and it also helps with high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and blood sugar control. It's very good for us, but almost nobody in the US gets enough. A study found that 97% of Americans don't get enough fiber, and it was found that on average, Americans only get around 15 grams a day, while the bare minimum recommendation is 31.5 grams a day. We're lacking fiber so bad in the US, we aren't even getting half of the minimum. The fiber problem is really, really bad. Now, how do we solve this problem and get more fiber? Well, basically, people in the US are so low in fiber because of their diets. Fiber is only found in plants. There's none in meat, dairy, or eggs, and there is very little in other junk foods. In order to get more fiber, we should be eating more beans, vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. The problem, though, is that the vast majority of Americans don't. A study found that 96% of people don't meet the daily minimum intake of beans and greens, and 99% don't meet the daily minimum intake of whole grains. This is why almost everyone is so low in fiber. Almost nobody is eating the right foods because most people are on a non-vegetarian diet, which mainly consists of animal products like meat. And animal products don't contain any fiber. However, if people were to switch over to a vegetarian or vegan diet, it would help solve the fiber problem. A study found that vegetarians are above the daily minimum requirement of fiber intake, and vegans are way above the minimum, eating over 3 times more fiber than the average American. This is why you should eat a whole plant-based diet. Not only does it provide more than enough protein, as we discussed earlier, but it also has less unhealthy things like fat, saturated fat, and cholesterol, while also providing more healthy things like fiber, folate, vitamin C, phytochemicals, and antioxidants, which are important for staying healthy and preventing disease. So if you want to stay as healthy as possible, make sure to switch to a plant-based diet, because it's been shown over and over that it's the healthiest diet out there. Okay, so we just went over a lot really quick, so I'm going to list off the 5 key takeaways to remember out of everything I just said. First, plant-based diets provide the same amount of protein as a meat-based one. Second, the majority of people get more than enough protein, and you shouldn't be worried about getting enough protein. Third, most people are lacking in fiber, and we should be focusing on getting more fiber. Fourth, fiber only comes from plant foods. And fifth, a plant-based diet is the overall healthiest diet. It provides more than enough protein and fiber, as well as other essential nutrients and vitamins, so make sure to switch over. Anyways, that's all for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment down below with any questions or thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.